Hello, welcome to Lemon Series, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for House of the Dragon Season 3. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Share them to leave a like. Comment below, let me know your thoughts on House of the Dragon. Of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So, I love House of the Dragon. I really do. In some ways, I think it's stronger than Game of Thrones. In some ways, I think it's not. But either way, I love these characters. And I am just all about the Dance of the Dragons. And I was really looking forward to it. I'm one of the defenders of Season 2. I really enjoyed Season 2 quite a bit. Everyone else sees the dog on it. They thought it was a little too slow. To me, again, I was like all the way in. And then once we start off this season with a true bang, I really describe this season overall kind of like a sandwich, because this was the war season. I mean, you even hear it in the opening credits, like they added the drums at the beginning before the original Game of Thrones theme starts playing, and we start off with a war in episode 1, which I heard was originally supposed to be the finale, or episode 9 and the first 2 episodes were meant to be episode 9 and episode 10 of season 2, which I think would have elevated season 2 quite a bit more, as opposed to waiting these 2 years. But man, what a premiere it certainly was. And every single episode, there was truly stakes throughout all of the 8. And we kick off episode 1 with the death of Jace. Yes, we will be going to spoilers here, but we kick off with the death of Jace. In episode 2, I mean, Aemon just gets really injured. We thought he was dead until he pops back up in episode 4, I believe. But yeah, again, there was just high stakes throughout the whole entire way through. However, after episode 2, and I really did like episode 3 quite a bit, I described episode 1 and 2 as, grand slams. Completely knocked it out of the park, gave 4 runs. Episode 3 was a home run. After that is where we enter the Cold War portion of House of the Dragon. And that's where I wasn't enjoying this season as much, for 2 reasons. The first 2 seasons, what I love about it is that Team Green is the team that you love to watch to hate. You love to boo them. So the fact that we were really taking a step back from Alicent, Otto's completely off the table. As you see, that was the big death in episode 2. Otto comes back only to die. Otto's off the table. Alicent is stuck to a room with Yelena. Aegon is not really a player, and Aemon is not really a player. Like I said, he disappears for a few episodes after episode 2, and we're left with Ormond, who we really haven't developed throughout the whole entire series thus far. I don't recall him really showing up in season 2. I imagine he did, but he didn't really leave that big of an impression on me. But the fact that this was our big bad for season 3, again, I just wasn't captivated with him. Every time we cut to him, like, some of the scenes were really interesting. I liked how, he had this mentor take with, I can't remember the son's name. But, one of the other Targaryens in this show. And, that whole mentor type relationship where he's like, man, you kind of messed up. I don't know if I can really fully follow you. And ultimately, he betrays him and he leaves. Again, fine television. I didn't hate myself while watching it. I just wasn't as attached because I don't know those characters that well. And everything that we were doing with Rhaenyra this season, I was loving Rhaenyra in the first 2 episodes. Again, 2 grand slams. I mean, that scene in episode 2 when Jace's body is just sitting there and she's in full denial, going, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And it's kind of just, not really accepting it until one of her knights goes, yeah, go ahead and slice my head. We'll bring my son back. And amazing performance by Emma Darcy, I believe is their name. And very much eligible for the Emmy for that episode in episode 2 and throughout the whole entire season. But my issue with her was that she was so much about the image in this, with being queen. Like, every decision that she was making was based on how will the people feel about me. Now, don't get me wrong. As a leader, you need to have the people in mind and what they are going to think. But at the end of the day, it's your rule. And whatever you say, go. And you need to just lay the law. And some people aren't going to like you. Not every decision you make is going to make the absolute perfect sense. A lot of people weren't a huge fan of Viserys, right? And the fact that she just kept going, okay, I'm going to side with the people, and hopefully that's going to make it work out. And it kept backfiring on her as the season progressed. And the other thing I wasn't a huge fan of her is that she wasn't taking care of her people within the home. I get it, as someone who, if I was to live in Westeros, would be a common folk, right? And the rich people would definitely be hiding food from me, and I would have been all about Rhaenyra getting my food back from the rich people. If I'm in the castle, I'm taking care of the rich people because they're the ones who are going to bring me coin. That's part of the game, right? Also, if I made promises to people, hey, bring your wife to the castle, what she did to, what's his name? I can't remember his name, who I fully expect is going to have a heel turn in the next season. Or maybe not, because this season really progressed me over to Team Green quite a bit, or at least just with Aegon. His whole arc in this season, I was cheering for him when we got to the ending of episode 8. He faces Aemon, he slaps him in the face, and he hits the "I'm alive!" That was one amazing line delivery from the actor. But man, just hell yeah, dude, you are alive. You got your dragon back. You are now focused. You're no longer hesitant to be king. You want that throne. You want that revenge. And you know what? You go do it, bud. I was, again, this show really turned me on Aegon this season. But yeah, she made the promise to, the bastards, if you will, right? Ulf. No, you're not going to be a Targaryen. Okay, now, Corlys. No, I'm not going to give you the last name of Valyrian to your two bastard sons just because now you have a change of heart and you want to accept them. Which also, everything with Corlys kind of pissed me off this season too. Liked him again, the first 2 episodes so promising. But the fact that he was just so mad at her, I was like, dude, how long did it take you until you accepted those two? Now you want to be mad at her? But anyway, I digress. But either way, Rhaenyra should have definitely done it, right? Again, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. Your knights, they're coming in, right? They're going to here to protect you. If it wasn't for the yellow coats, you are dead. You die, right? The white knights were protecting that throne for Aegon. If those yellow coats do not come in, you are dead. What are you going to do? Not pay them? What do you mean? Just because, I got to take care, I want the people to like me. Shut up. Just shut up. I was on Rhaenyra this whole entire season. Usually we go week to week on the channel here. This week I didn't, just because the week to week episodes don't usually perform well. It's always the finale that does well. So I just figured, hey, let's just do the whole season this time. Not just for House of Dragon, all the show coverage I do. I usually I used to go week to week for every new television show that comes out. Well, not every television show. I don't watch every television show in existence, but the television shows we cover, you get the picture. But the finale was always the best performance. It's we'll just do the whole entire season. But on TikTok, I still went week to week. And I was on Rhaenyra the whole entire season. I'm just this is going to backfire on you. And sure enough, it does. Ulf turns on her, and then he ends up turning on Ormond and starting killing everybody. I don't know what he's going to be doing next season. He's going to be all alone. Freaking idiot. He kind of deserved the shame that he would get publicly throughout this season because he just kept making dumb mistakes, the drunk. But anyway, wasn't a huge fan of that. And once we got to the finale, or really the last 2 episodes, like I said, this was a little bit of a sandwich. First 2 so strong, 3 good, and then it's kind of middle tempering here. Once we get into 7 and 8, absolutely fantastic stuff. Not just because there's more action throughout the whole entire thing, it's just because okay, we set the table, and now here we are going to execute. Wasn't a huge fan of the use of Kristen Cole this season as well. Now, it has been revealed to me, well, it was revealed online, that apparently in the book he doesn't have a really grand exit as well, like what we wanted. Not because we like the guy, but because we despise him and we just want him to really suffer. But the fact that, one, we cooled him off this whole entire season, The death of Kristen Cole was something I was really looking forward to watching because, I don't like the guy. The actor's fine, but the character, can't stand him. Then we stay away from him for quite a while. He does this monologue where, again, I'm kind of like, yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from. It's not going to work. You're kind of pathetic because you're doing all this for a girl. Well, I mean, don't all men do things for girls or guys for the love interest, whatever. But, I get it. But at the same time, really, dude, you're laying all these people down just because you want the grand escape. But yeah, the way that he went out was a little damned. I wasn't a huge fan of it. But hey, I get it. That's what happened in the book. Then you got to do it on the television show. It's fine. Everything we did with Damon, I really was a huge fan of as well. I thought we did really good stuff with his character. I kind of like how, as we got to the finale, how Rhaenyra and him kind of flipped. Like, if he was Yang, now he's Yin. And Rhaenyra, if she was Yin, now she's Yang. Because she is now going full throttle. Again, she took too long to get there. But man, when she started saying, do this, do that, I was like, yes, Rhaenyra, do the war crimes. Go in there, kill that pope, whatever, and claim your throne and do that speech. Everything was really good. Again, finale, really strong. Episode 7, really strong. Middle portion is where the show kind of struggled for me. What else do we need to color? What else do we need to cover when it comes to the show? Everything with Miss Sarah. That was also fine as well. That character, a lot of people like her. Again, she's kind of in and out for me. Kind of like how she was in the castle. Bazine. Anyway, but yeah, that was crazy. How Rhaenyra slept with her, right? And then kicked her out, called her an Uber, and said, all right, yeah, I got to do war crimes now. And you were my only good conscience, so get out. And then we're moving on. And then, of course, Yelena going the way that she did. I actually really like Yelena. She was just a sweet girl in a really, really bad situation within the Game of Thrones. Just a person who should not be in the Game of Thrones whatsoever. She unfortunately was. The use of Alicent, I wasn't a huge fan of either. I don't know why. For some reason, we were really, really all about just assaulting her in a lot of ways. Because in the premiere, Aemon kisses her, which was really weird, right? Then in episode 2, that guy legit tries to grape her in her room. Then I believe it was episode 7, we actually have a sex scene dream when it comes to Aemon and Alicent. Like, I was like, what are we doing with her? Like, this is, again, it was just really far out there. I'm excited to see what we're going to do now that everything is course corrected. Aegon has his dragon back. He's getting Aemon. They're going to go get Vhagar. I imagine they meet with Ulf, and maybe Ulf joins their side because he needs to join a side because there's no way that dude's going to make it far on his own. He can't think for himself. Alicent, it's going to be really interesting how she's going to react once the news is out that Yelena is dead after she did try to kill her own son for her queen in a lot of ways. Now that Rhaenyra does not give a fuck and Aegon doesn't give a fuck, I think season 4 has the makings of being really, really big, especially with it being the final season. My only other criticism I can think of when it comes to this season is that not enough dragons died. And the only reason I say that is because now, since next season is the last season, all the dragons got to go, right? It's the Dance of the Dragons. The dragons die, right? Every single one. There's a lot of dragons that need to die. So either they all die in one swoop, which is kind of what I prefer, just so that I can get it over with, or every episode, because I actually think there is 8 left. Because how many does Rhaenyra have? She has 6 left, I believe, or maybe 5 now that Ulf's gone. So that's 5, and then, you have the other 3 that's on Team Green, but also Yelena has her dragon too, so maybe there's 9. That is averaging at least 1 dragon death per episode, which I just don't want to go through that every single week hearing a dragon die. I just don't want to do it, which is why, again, if we could have killed 2 more this season, I think it would have set me up for next season more, because it's just going to be torture, right? But again, overall, good season. I enjoyed it. Again, I kind of compared it to that sandwich. First two were really good. Last two really good. Everything in the middle. Episode 3 is a standout. It's just fine for what it was. But now that we are back to Aegon versus Rhaenyra, as opposed to Rhaenyra versus Ormond, where we're just in a cold war, where Rhaenyra doesn't want to do anything because she wants to look good for her people, but now she doesn't give a damn, and now she's fighting Aegon head on. Oh man, I am super amped when we get to season 4. I will say overall, that's what season 3 did. It got me really excited for season 4. But comment below, let me know your thoughts on House of the Dragon season 3. Leave a like if you made this far in the review. I'd greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. And don't forget to squeeze the days, guys, because life is too short not to give your all. So squeeze every opportunity that you can. Until next time, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.